Welcome back, everyone, to session 19 of Occupation. With the crew getting a little bit of a downtime session as the galaxy turns after their latest efforts. But let's do a little bit of a recap. With this last adventures, we'll say, the Tafanda Station crew split up, each tackling their own adventure, with the Force users going after the re-emerged Terran to task that the Yuzon Vong had brought out from endangered species and reshaped to their own liking and sending them after the Force users of the galaxy. The Dominion found this intolerable and tapped Lord Malachi and the Tafanda Station crew to go out and eliminate them. The group made their way out there and tried very hard to kind of fight against the horrors that the Yuzon Vong had unleashed upon Mustafar, shaped Force users, fire breathers that are kind of their own, cavalry, artillery, best way to put it, where they could go through and take breathing fire and roasting people in lava, as well as the fearsome Terran attack. But the group was able to make their way onto Mustafar, utilizing some of their faction resources to do so. But the odds kind of stacked up against them, especially without the full Tafanda Station crew. And eventually they were forced to retreat. Not before learning from the Villip of Nemyen that Vars' old comrade, the Gardener, had been kidnapped by the Yuzon Vong forces. With that, the group made their way off planet and were able to escape the Yuzon Vong. But unfortunately, one of the Jedi Knights, along with the mission, had to pay with his life to buy the group time to repair the shuttle and make their way off planet. Further kind of tarnishing, we should say, Horus's relationship with the Jedi, with yet another falling to his mission and him surviving. Along with that, Malachi was able to get himself off planet, but not without being severely wounded, losing his leg and having an experience with the Force, with the dark side connection to the planet of Mustafar. But flipping from the Force user crew, Vars and Val, the unlikely diplomats, made their way to the CC home planet, finding a species with advanced tech that had pretty much been, due to being in very, very, very deep in the unknown regions, segregated themselves off from the rest of the galaxy. And finding that these CC along with the Pwek species that serves them, had developed pretty impressive technology, finding an alternative fuel source, we'll say, for powering droids, powering ships, powering even their dreadnoughts and capital vessels. With that, the group was able to get into negotiations with their envoy, kind of extolling the virtues of siding with Tafanda Station versus siding with Senator Avon from Organa and the Republic. The group was actually able to convince the CC that Tafanda Station was the best choice, but during the negotiations, the crew found that the CC have a little bit of a dark past, or dark, not even past. They've got some dark practices, we'll say, utilizing the Pwek as almost as a slave species, and utilizing them to power their droids, power their ships through a process called entrenchment, where they pretty much just suck the Force out of them, or the soul out of them, and use them as a power source. With that, the group had a little bit of a moral reckoning, which I think we're still mostly solved, but still a little bit on, with whether they should support a species who, in peace times, pretty much every group from would ally against them, from the Mandalorians to the Sith to the Jedi to the Republic, but their droids are really good. And actually, an existential fight for your life, do you stick with your morals, or do you take the easier path? So that's actually where we'll pick up, because I know we had to rush off a little bit. I'm not sure if anybody had any more to add to that. If they were, I know you guys are floating, taking some of the CC droids, but then also like billboarding them out to the Yuzon Vong as a place to attack. Val also thinking of going back and liberating the Pwek, kind of all on its own. where's the crew's heads at when it comes to the CC-RU and the tech they provide? Horace, what do you think?
I have a terrible, terrible bit I'd like to say first because it's a terrible joke. May I make it?
Go for it.
When you said the CC-RU had segregated themselves off from the galaxy, the very first thing that came to my mind was that wasn't the only thing they segregated.
The CC-RU are. For any viewers, if you haven't yet, go read Truce of Barracuda. I made up very little about the CC-RU. They're just like a weird, terrible species, but very entertaining. But
I need to read that now.
yeah, so where is the crew's head at on this one? I know we had to cut the conversation a little bit short after last session. I think the consensus was to support the CC-RU or have the CC-RU kind of join the Define the Station resources, but go somewhere from there. So what is the crew thinking? You guys are kind of at the Define the Station at the usual boardroom. None of your faction representatives are present. Just kind of the core Define the Station crew, kind of hashing out how best to handle this new windfall or this new deplorable species.
Horus is on the side of using them as bait for the Yuzong Vong, both to hopefully diminish the actual numbers of this less force sensitive and very terrible race that has drained the souls of their subjects, and to possibly help with the Quex in charge. While additionally hopefully allowing the Fauna Station to strike a blow against the Yuzong Vong if they are willing to overcommit resources to this event.
So what's the crew think?
I was kind of expecting someone to add more onto that one too.
Val, all right. So the group would know this. The group knows Val long enough. They would know this. That Val is usually like pretty easygoing, and there's a lot of things that like maybe he doesn't really care about. This he really cares about, and you'll see that he is not like he is clearly like animated, and tense, and so he is very much ready to just go and liberate the planet. And so that's kind of his posture and his attitude. Then kind of in character, he would go along with the idea of kind of this deception or subterfuge, because it gets him to his goal.
Vars, Malachi.
I want this technology, and we don't have this technology yet. They still have it. So we need to gain their trust. You see an advantage to this technology, don't you, Val?
Val sees only the dishonorment of the soul and the person. This goes against everything that Val believes.
So this technology stands against everything that you believe, just in general.
Val believes that one seeks honor on this planet, and yet this technology tries to take that pursuit away. Yes, this goes against what Val believes in his core.
While I myself can see some value in using this technology against the Vong. As said before, I'm very curious to see what would happen if they are put into this entrenchment machine. I do not believe that this technology should be used after the fact. It needs to be wiped away. To take the force from something to deprive it of its rebuild.
You cut off, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
where did I cut out at?
Oh, so you said take kind of the force, like just really the last sentence you said.
Yeah.
And he says like, shoot, what did he say? Oh, dang it!
Well, once the war's over, we should dismantle this technology. You taking the force out of jump in at any time. I'm just trying to get
I do believe that we should. I'm very curious to see what happens if we put a Vong in this entrenchment machine. The very idea of a machine that can remove someone from being able to rejoin the Force, it cannot be allowed to exist after this war. In addition, the CC they do not want to die in any other world but their home planet. So, let's make it so.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm curious to see what it would do to a Vong. I don't know if there's some sort of a deal or something we can work out to feed them. I guess it really is just feeding them prisoners of some sort. Take the collaborators, the Vong, the enemies that we capture, that other factions capture, and just churn them into troops for us to use while sparing the Pwek.
You propose we use the prisoners of war. When I hear prisoners, I don't think of Vong. We don't take those prisoners. I think of the denizens of the galaxy. I think of those who seek to oppose oppressors and have been taken into custody. While, yes, there are many criminals and those who deal ill to the galaxy. I also know there's many who would be unjustly damned by this.
Yeah, but you've seen what the Vong did to their prisoners, right?
You saying we go on to their level?
I mean,
Absolutely.
if we don't destroy this machine, then yeah, we're at their level. Again, if we just keep it to using the Pwek, then we're letting some lesser or different species suffer. At the very least, we'd be, thinning the ranks of the enemy, potentially. And maybe more of an incentive for people to stop collaborating with the damn Vong, join our side, or we'll turn you into a droid. Has a certain intangible kind of fear to it, I think.
That's horrible. And I will
Yeah.
not be a part of it.
Well, what do you suggest?
We put the Vong in these entrenchment machines when they eventually attack the CC homeworld. We see what happens. We go from there. If this technology proves useful in that scenario, we use it and destroy it once the Vong are exterminated.
I think again, I'm just curious as hell as to what it'll do, but considering that this thing channels the Force, let me know if I'm using the wrong word here, Malachi, but kind of turns it into that Force, into energy. If you got Vong in there, it feels like it's just gonna, it's like a power pack with no juice. It's just gonna be a dead droid.
I think that's the biggest bit of our curiosity right there, is that they are the opposites in most aspects to how we are. And that might have consequences, potentially. I also think that it'll be far easier to follow through with this idea and path of utilizing this technology, at least to the light, as it were, at the end of this very, very dark tunnel. Because if we lead the Vong to the Ciciru, we run a risk of losing the technology and all allies completely anyways. I think
Yeah.
that there's too much of a risk there. Really, these reptilians are a future problem in the event that we have a future.
Yeah,
We need to use them. We need to exploit them, and we need to be their allies right now.
all right. So let's take a moment, go, I guess, between the four of us, and what's your ideal outcome, and see if we can reach some sort of a middle ground between the four of us that works for everybody.
The outcome of the CC will be outcome of this war.
Say that. I'm sorry, I can barely make out what you're saying there. One more time.
The outcome of the CC Rue or the outcome of this war.
I'm thinking more short term right now. CC room.
Keep them as our allies. However, the four that we brought with us, well, that you brought with you, do they know how to build this technology? Or did they just know about it? Did they just spontaneously find out about it and lead this revolt that I have read a report on?
I don't think they do. Tegan, I'm going to take a jump and say,
You-
hell no.
Yeah, you'd spend time. It's not a secret from the Pwex, but they've not really
Yeah.
been afforded the opportunity to be educated enough to understand how the process works.
Yeah. They know that there is sausage, but the sausage maker is a mystery.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, some of you might not like this, but they are weak. They don't have the intelligence and the power that we seek for this fight. They are a fuel source. And I can commend the Ciciru for doing what they have to. What I don't understand is why they did it when they had no enemy on their doorstep.
I mean,
And what is the relationship between these lesser reptilians and their overseers? What is the relationship?
I imagine that they don't see the Pwek as, any different than you or I would see a bantha. It's a beast of burden and, maybe a steak. To them, it's just a resource. But, Val, what's your ideal outcome with the CC situation?
Val only sees one outcome. The Pwek will rise up. The Pwek will crush the CC root. The technology, this abomination, will be destroyed. And the Pwek, the honorable Pwek, will fight against us, or fight with us, against the Yusambong.
Okay.
I'm on
What's
side.
question on for you, Val, is what do you actually have against the Ciciru outside of them using the lesser reptilian folk for their machines?
Yeah, and so on, Kurt, real quick. So it's funny, last week, I didn't see this as an issue because Val would have never figured this out. But you guys explained in detail to Val.
Step by
And
step.
so the challenge that, yeah. So the challenge with Val, and you guys would know this because you've been around Val long enough. His whole philosophy, the whole philosophy of his tribe, the whole philosophy of his people, the philosophy of which he belongs to, is that the purpose in life is to attain physical perfection of combat. And when you get that far and you challenge an opponent and actually challenge that opponent in that you are a threat to that opponent, you have achieved, quote, perfection of the physical form, and you have earned death. and that is how you get honor in life. And so you guys would know this with Val. And so that's why if you haven't gotten that far and you are not a threat, Val cannot kill you, because he would take away your ability to then pursue that perfection. And so that's why he doesn't kill opponents unless those opponents are threatening to him, and he considers it an honor. And so this technology is removing in his mind the soul and preventing that death, and like preventing you from obtaining that honor. And it's not even like slavery. In that slavery, well, you can throw off the shackles of slavery or die. Those are your choices. This isn't even a choice. And so it's an abomination to his entire belief structure. Which, it's funny, when I built Val, I never knew anything about the CC Roo.
Yeah.
But this is quite a conundrum for Val. It's very hard for Val to wiggle out of this one.
Yeah.
Seems we got a cut right in the middle of the party here.
Well,
I guess we have to kill each other. So I got this new ability that I've been wanting to try.
Yeah. Well, maybe when the
It's called Indomitable. Let's go.
when the last Vong falls, then maybe we can figure it out. Until then.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm playing both sides of the system here.
Yeah.
I don't really care what direction that we go in. The technology really interests me. I think that it could benefit us in a significant way. And again, I think that we should exploit them. Putting all my cards on the table here, there's everything sinister about it. You want to kill them, Val? You want to lead these lesser reptilians to a revolt? Go have your revolution after we handle this more significant threat. Are we ever going to talk to him about how much he gets paid, by the way? Looks at bars.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I mentioned it last time at the end of the session, but Val's plan for the 4 people that came back is to essentially take them to, well, I don't know the state of Tagori. I think it's in Hap space. So I think it's probably relatively
I'm pretty sure it's in that
safe.
space.
Order, maybe. Yeah, because it's by Kashyyyk. Yeah, so I figured if as long as that planet is relatively safe and stable, he would essentially take them there to be trained by his tribe, and then at a later date they would be the ones to lead the revolution with him. That was kind of his plan for those 4 people, as long as they're willing to do that.
I just thought that I could end your revolution for you immediately. You remember how I handled the Gamorreans. I was just going to level their planet. In fact, that's my next call as soon as we're done here. The last time that I talked to Lord Galvin, we didn't end on the best of terms. And I'll kind of look down at my right leg, stomping on the ground, and you hear like a clunk. But I'm happy to help you, Val, as long as we can keep our eye on the prize. And you 3 are fortunate to have those.
Val will actually give you a little bit of a nod and say, Val believes freedom comes in many ways. And yes, the Gamorreans are free.
From a certain point of view.
From my point of view, the Gamorreans are free!
Yeah. He is going to earn Savior of the Puek one way or another.
Oh, no!
If this was a TV show, like a comedy show, it would cut to Gamora where it's just like wasteland. It's just like,
Yeah.
like just dust blowing along the wreckage of a planet.
Where the air is thick with the stench of roasted pig.
Surprisingly, it smells delicious down here.
I mean, they can't talk, so it's not terrible, right?
Some of them lived.
Yeah.
They were on ships. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a merciful Sith. Sometimes.
Horace is gonna bring up the fact that Malachi just did say that he didn't end off the best terms with Galvin last time they talked, and give a slight jab of the Sith not getting along with each other.
We hardly
man.
ever do.
Yeah, Malachi, I think that's what he was getting at.
Well,
How did
I'm
that
not
horse
gonna
conversation
try
go
to hide
down?
anything here. There's no deception here. Deception will not help us in the situation that we are in, and I'm talking the grand situation of the galaxy. So full disclosure here, I am trying to help, contrary to any belief here.
All right.
Call me proud. Thank you.
Well, are you willing to put the liberation of the Puek on hold till we have a better handle on what the Vong are doing to the galaxy?
Hmm. Val is willing to be patient because the Puek will train in the time that it takes us to prepare.
Okay. Horace? Wait. I think maybe we can all come to the agreement of we be the allies of the CCRU for now, and then revisit that relationship at a later date.
I will have to inform the Jedi of this. But I, on the station, shall agree to a temporary alliance.
Yep. And should the day come when the Vong are less of a threat or no longer a threat and wrenching control of those planets from the CCRU is viable, I'll lead that damn charge. It's despicable what they're doing. But we don't have the time, attention, or resources to divert our attention from the enemy that's encompassed half of this damn galaxy.
Well,
Val believes Vars is a man of honor. Maybe not how I view it. But
okay,
if
maybe I
diplomacy-
won't say what I was going to say.
formation, and I will destroy them. God
Done.
damn!
Yeah. Well,
Goodness.
I guess this boils down to will you set aside your attempt to liberate the Pwek from the CC room in lieu of fighting the Vong? Or do you feel like you need to attend to that ahead of anything else? I guess that's what this boils down to.
Val is willing to be patient. We can fight the Yusong Vong. The Pwek will train in the ways of my tribe. My tribe will prepare them for the battles ahead, the task ahead of them, and when they are ready, they will strike, and Val will be by their side. But that will take time. The perfection of the arts do not happen overnight. They do not happen in a week. They do not happen in a month. Val has time.
Okay. Then for now, we will say that we will ally with the CC room, and we will, as a team, as a group, revisit that alliance when the Pwek have been trained and the conditions in the galaxy have changed a bit.
So what is our plan of attack against the Vong?
Take a direction.
Let us check to see if we have any communications. I doubt we'll have any lack of direction.
Yeah. I'll see what's going on with my people. I guess you can all do the same.
I believe that turns to you, Tegan.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, now we get into downtime. So you guys will have 2 weeks of downtime. And with this, the galaxy is in a bit of chaos. Because you remember that there was 3 missions last time that you guys could have chosen between. You guys did choose 2 of them, but one of the missions was left untouched. With President Oveno, the son of Supreme Chancellor Oveno of the Republic, shot down over an enemy planet and trying to avoid capture and requesting assistance from the Jedi reaching out to you guys to make your way on planet. And one of the things is you guys get kind of, after you kind of make your peace with allying with the CC Ru and get their starfighters and droids kind of define the station, bolstering your defenses, bolstering your offenses, bumping you guys up to a five-die faction on that side, you do start to see news reported from the Holonet. And the news, most of it, and you get a lot of like the news from the war with the Yuzon Vong and your various factions, and we'll get to that during the downtime piece too. But one of the things that probably catches your eyes the most is a couple days after Vars and Val arrived back, and Vars, you guys were the longest ones because you had to go way out to the middle of nowhere and back. Probably about 3 or 4 days after you guys get back, you start to hear see these wild stories coming out from the Senate. They first, for a while, you see it arguing on the Senate floor with the picture of Dresden Oveno, this Mon Calamari in battle armor, being held hostage by the Yuzon Vong, and them threatening the Republic, saying, and you see actually, if he's held up, you see the War Master for the Yuzon Vong, War Master Choka, holding an amphistaff to his throat, and you hear him addressing the Republic, but it's kind of broadcast to the rest of the galaxy in his kind of deep voice, and he goes, "Republic, we have dealt with you honorably. You asked us for an armistice. We gave it to you. We gave you peace." Really struggling with that peace word. But this is how you treat us? This here stands the son of your leader, the son of your chief, supplying Republic arms to those we have conquered in the name of our gods justly. Republic, you have a day. Overthrow your chancellor, kill him if need be, or you will be re-entered into the war, and you will know pain. You will know the true might of the Yuzon Vong. We will stop attacking the Dominion, the Mandalorians, the Hutts. We will focus every weapon upon the Republic. And you guys see that replayed, like, and you guys like know how 24-hour news cycle works on Earth. Kind of similar for that. It's on every channel. It's on, with everybody having their own take of it. Like it's replaying that over and over again. And Vars and Val, you guys see like a pretty familiar face along with that too. Because when they have those news cycles, definitely some of the ones that lean more towards his politics, but you do see Senator Avon from Organa, or say Avon Organa from Alderaan on those two, like just going off on like the responsibility of the chancellor, thinking that a vote of no confidence should be held, and that new leadership should assume. And that's just going off like the next day, just like every channel covering Organa, like on as many channels as he can, just bad mouthing the chancellor. The chancellor so far has not spoken.
This immediately reminds me of a scene at Smiling Friends of, dude, turn on the news. It doesn't matter what channel.
It's definitely one of those things. Like the holiday is ablaze right now.
They really said, all right, we'll pause everything else with a war and deal with you. And by the sounds of it, that wasn't a bluff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of, hearing that, it kind of feels like, I feel like there would be like some Dominion or possibly people being like, all right, we need to keep the Chancellor alive.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this is going great so far. I don't see the downside.
Yeah.
The hard part, though, is that next day they do vote of no confidence the Chancellor. Though he's not on planet. They vote, they search for him, like you see, like, and Avon is like hamming it up. Like he is in front of the cameras, just like, pretty much anytime you see a HoloNet cam, he is in front of it, like just, where is the Chancellor? He abandons us, even as they're voting him out, like he's still going on this abandonment record. But you do see, like, and it's kind of like it's over time, but it's a little bit of a fracture within the Republic. Because Oveno does escape Coruscant, but links up fully with the Resistance and kind of makes his own little pitch to the galaxy. And the Republic does kind of capitulate and nominate Avon to be the new Supreme Chancellor.
We should have killed him.
Should have murdered that rat-faced son of a bitch.
We had the opportunity. We had the chance. We could have done it.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Why?
Yeah.
For giant dinosaurs and their robots.
To be friendly with the robot Ginos. Yay.
So you guys, and before we get to your downtime, you see two more speeches. One from the former Supreme Chancellor Oveno, and the other from Avon. But we'll get to Avon first. And Avon, like, he's smarmy. Like, he is just, like, he's dressed in, like, these fine, like, Alderaan robes, the blues and whites, ornate. It just kind of just has this, like, he's a real punchable face. Is probably the best way to say it. He's got that half smirk and just a real condescending tone as he comes onto the HoloNet, and he goes, I have been bestowed a great honor to be able to represent the Republic through these trying times and make up for the mistakes of my predecessor. I will be taking over the Republic and ensuring that there will be peace in our time. We will ensure that Oveno's errors, his nepotism with his children, and misallocation of Republic funds will cease. And we will assure, too, that this peace with the Yuzon Vong, the armistice, lives on. And to do so, we will be allocating Republic efforts and military resources, not to aid the Yuzon Vong, but to attack our true enemies, the Mandalorians, the Sith, the ones who have besieged us for years before the Yuzon Vong could come to the scene and lended their aid to the Republic. With me in charge, you can count. I'm an Alderanian. You can count on me to make sure things are peaceful. This message is brought to you by Senator Supreme Chancellor Avon. You can see him cheesily smiling with a thumbs up as it goes off.
Tegan,
Hmm?
I immediately pull up a galaxy map and I want to find the closest Republic planet to me. It's about to get delta'd.
Okay, so I just feel like the Death Star's first target might have been more justified if this guy existed at one point.
How dare you you twist the Organa name? Blasphemy! No Organa would ever act like this. No, I'm just kidding. No. On a serious note, closest Republic planet, please, because it's gonna go boom.
So the Dominion, after the Republic goes, you're going to declare war on the Republic? Okay. So we'll get to that.
I can't declare war. I'm just saying, what's the nearest Republic planet? Because my next conversation with Galvin will tell me what I'm doing.
Oh my goodness. What's the former Chancellor's speech?
Yeah. So
We have one more, don't we? Yeah.
You do. So you see the former Supreme Chancellor Ovena. You do see kind of members of the Resistance around him, as well as kind of the admiral that had been kind of fronting up the Resistance while Ovena was still kind of hanging out or still trying to keep his neutrality with the Republic. But you see him like he's not in like the usual robes that he's been wearing as a Supreme Chancellor. You know, Oveno, he was a military guy before he became a senator and before he became a chancellor. And he is back like in Republic military garb as he gets up. And you see him in front of the camera with Admiral Vexen standing at his side. And he is just like straight backed. And he, in his gravelly Moncal voice, goes, "By now, you have seen what has happened. I will admit that I did not follow the will of the people and the Senate and acquiesce to the Yuzon Vong Vaders completely. I have supported the rebellion. I have provided Republic materials to those who would carry on the fight. Because fight we should. The Dominion are terrible. Their force practices abhorrent. The Mandalorians, mere thugs, but they are far better than the Yuzon Vong. I'd hate to see the galaxy in either of their hands, but I could die honorably knowing if it did fall to their hands. The hands of the Yuzon Vong would destroy our way of life. There would be nothing left of us. Which is why I'm calling on every citizen of the galaxy, Republic, Sith, Dominion, Mandalorians, Hutts, even Zerka, to fight. Dedicate every resource, every life, every drop of sweat, blood, and blaster fuel to fight. To the public military, I'm speaking directly to you now. Join me. Do not let that pompous fool lead you. Join with me and see what we can do. And then you kind of see the image cut out.
Dang, it really is all of the galaxy now fighting the other side of the galaxy.
I think Aveno, wow, it was short and sweet. He's leading from the front, and that's inspiring. For some. Not me, but good for him.
God damn. Is it downtime now?
It is downtime. With that, last thing I will say is that do you see kind of over, you got to see this during your bits of downtime. The Republic does kind of fracture quite a bit. Oveno is able to snake a good chunk of the military to the Resistance, but a lot does just kind of stick kind of with the chain of command and stick with the new Supreme Chancellor Avon, and does begin commencing attacks on Mandalore, the Heaps Consortium, as well as the Dominion. But yeah, we're getting into downtime next. So with these, kind of similar to how we've done before, you guys have 2 weeks where one of the weeks will be kind of one of your a prompt a little bit with something occurring within your faction in the galaxy, whether it be the Yuzon Vong or the Republic even now, doing something to your forces. And the other week will be yours to spend either aiding your forces, advancing the war effort, or doing kind of the regular traditional downtime stuff too, in case there's an item or resource you're looking for, something like that. But with that, who wants to go first?
Dibs.
Mal was ready.
So Horace, you get a hollow transmission. You can almost sense the reluctance through the forest. Like you could definitely tell you were like not his first call. But you do see your former master appear, or your master's master, we should say, appear in front of you. You see Paulo Grok appear, like his Tolan, his eyes wide, his head tail's like weirdly like almost rigid, and then like a quick twitch, but then rigid again, definitely uncomfortable as he approaches you. And he goes,
His eyes are sharp while he's waiting for him to speak, given the last conversation.
"You've seen the Hollow News, correct?"
How could I not?
"We have need of your assistance. I wish it weren't so. Well, this is more of an all hands on deck type of moment."
You will have my assistance, but I do believe it should be said. My predictions were accurate. The Jedi separation from the Republic should have been priority, rather than placating and playing politics.
We have separated from the Republic. We're using Jedi resources, Jedi tech. But the Jedi and the Republic do have a long history. And we have 2 paths for you. It's your choice which you would pursue. I do know the one I feel you are suited for with your tactics. But while your loss ratio may be heavy, you have been effective. So I'll allow you your choice. You see him as he kind of speaks that, you do see like the hollow image distort into 2 very different pictures. One of them, you see kind of like Republic on Republic conflict. You see like over Corellia, like 2 Republic battle groups like engaged and just blasting the hell out of each other. You can definitely infer, and with this too, you get a little report as well indicating that Corellia as a whole, the planet, has sided with Admiral Oveno, dedicating their resources to the former Supreme Chancellor. But he knows the new Supreme Chancellor is sending a war group out there. You see, this is where Master Paolo points to first, and he goes, "I feel this is where your talents are best suited. Oveno, while he may have a poor relationship with the Jedi, knows that he has few allies in his court. We would like you to go to Coruscant, leading a squadron of Jedi starfighters alongside one of our own documenters and second in commands to make sure that you do not needlessly waste lives. But we would like you to go and assist breaking the attack group that has sent to Coruscant or sent to Corellia, to make sure they pay in blood and make sure that they will back off and allow Supreme Chancellor or the former Supreme Chancellor's forces to take hold and begin to expand outwards. I feel this is a task suited for your abilities."
And Horace listens to the other possible objective?
This one, you kind of see the screen fade, and once again, you do see Republic ships, but they are descending upon the Hapes Consortium. You see the Republic Star Destroyers kind of making their way into Zeltros. Zeltros is a recent kind of acquisition by Hapes. They took it from the Uzon, or they took it from the Dominion, who took it from the Republic. And you see Zeltros isn't like super well defended. And you see like a few of the Hapes battle dragons kind of trying to fight against the Republic. But you do see Republic soldiers and troops like bombarding it from orbit and starting to insert themselves onto the planet, trying to take it over. And you see, it kind of once again, it flips back to the Master, and he goes, "We don't have the resources to defend Zeltros for the Hapes Consortium. But there are those we wish to evacuate from the planet. This is a rescue mission. We would like to send Jedi resources to evacuate those with the resources to continue the fight for the Uzon Vong, or against the Uzon Vong. We'd like you to make your way there and protect all those that can be saved and extradite them from the planet. I fear for your mentality that the offensive may be better than the protection, but the choice is yours."
The horse would look to him and say, "To which of the forms did I master?"
And I am blanking on that as the GM. Which one did Horse Master? Probably 4 and 5, right?
No, it was
Okay.
Sarisu.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he was a Sarisu user, but I believe I had in there that I was criticized for being too aggressive with it, and also trying to mix it with more aggressive forms.
Okay.
So he will go with the latter, the rescue mission. There are many reasons for it, but the main one he would reveal right now is he'd rather be out there saving people who can fight the Uzon Vong than dealing with Republic politics. And he can't really use a lightsaber to deflect bolts and blades within the cockpit of a ship.
You do see the Master's. He's a bit I guess he Paulo like shift back a little bit. His head tails kind of like twitching a little bit of surprise, and he goes, "I had not expected that from you."
You hadn't? Why? No, I can understand the preconception. You need not explain. But my purpose here by the Force has been to give the galaxy victory. I would like there to be a galaxy left, and that requires fighters, and I will achieve this by any means necessary. No, not any means necessary, merely I will pay the cost. If I survive, I survive. If I die and join the Force, so be it.
You see him nod and go, "I appreciate hearing you say that. Please ensure not to needlessly waste lives. But also, as I said, I will be sending a second in command with you to hopefully help you preserve life. I believe you've met him already. He served with you on Mustafar. And basically they are sitting cat with you to keep notes and hopefully help you from sending more Jedi to their doom."
All right. Now, out of character, I'm afraid Horse is going to get kicked out of the Jedi depending on how these rolls go.
Don't worry, you can come to the Sith.
Yes, apprentice, approach. Kneel.
With that, they will give you kind of like a layout. You see kind of the Heaping battle dragons, which are also really cool looking ships. If you ever get a chance, Google them. Fighting against the Republic on floors, but you just see they're quickly being overwhelmed, and basically you'll see 3 hotspots appear upon the planet, showing kind of like where some of the Zeltron researchers, the Zeltron spies, as well as some of the Zeltron warriors. And you go from the Master Apollo. These are the three core areas. If you can save all three, they can prove a valuable asset. Horace, what do you know of the Zeltrons? And you can give me a lore roll too.
Oh, no, I was doing this response. That would be his response. Just blank stare, slow blink.
So,
Lore.
you haven't heard too much about them. You know that they've got like pink skin. They're also known to be just a very charismatic species. Really able to speak well and really make people like them very easily.
So he'd basically give just that.
They're pink. They're charismatic. Is there anything
see-
else I should know?
Master Paulo nods and goes, charisma may even be an understatement. They're able to utilize their own pheromones to manipulate. Normally, we find this practice distasteful, but we found that their spy category, their group, can even manipulate the Vol. Not to convince them to turn sides or anything that major, but to even slow their aggression and throw them off balance during attacks or even infiltrations. So, outside of these three groups, we'd say that the spies, followed by the civilians, and you can see a fourth category light up, would be our key ones to save as many as you can. But as mission command will be towards you, since you will be the one with boots on the ground, as it were. But yeah, after you see that the hollow cuts off, and you see the planet, you see kind of your own little squadron. Once again, a number of the same that you worked with, saving the refugees from the sacrifice as well.
They gave that number to him again?
Oh no.
The Jedi don't have a ton of fleet resources, so
They're crippling themselves. I'm not trying to sabotage them. Neither is Horace.
no, they didn't give you 100 knights again.
Okay.
They gave you a lot of the support ships. They gave you probably about 24 knights to kind of get in, load up the ships, and get off.
All right. I was worried for a moment there.
And they gave you CAD too. But with that, yeah. So how would Horus approach this type of mission? You see, kind of the Republic forces swarming the planet Zeltros. The Hapen dragons trying to fight back as much as they can. You see 4 hot points around the planet, with 3 of them being kind of tactical. 4 of them, with the 4th being rescuing the people. How does Horus go about it? How does Horus utilize his 24 starfighters along with the support craft necessary to kind of load up the people and make their way off?
That's a good question. Could he force some of these ships to the ground, enemy ships to the ground, so they would not be a threat once we get back in air? Basically forcing the air support to become ground troops from the enemies.
So how would he try to go about trying to make the Republic troops land?
Shoot. I should have thought about that part right there. I just thought of something cool. I didn't think about the how. My bad. I can't really Dang, I can't really think of anything.
Roll me a d20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Horse is coming up with blank on this one.
Hmm. Could I hear about those 3 spots again?
Definitely. So there's 3 kind of locations spread across the planet. One kind of including like their spy force, a lot of the other one including kind of their warriors and military, another including their researchers and kind of that bring out kind of they develop technologies and the resources that can help in the fight for the Vong. These are all 3 kind of very useful groups. There's a 4th group that's also useful, but in a very different way. They're kind of more citizens, but they are wealthy citizens that can kind of contribute to the war effort.
So, spies, military, researchers, and wealthy civilians.
Exactly.
And we're trying to get these guys into the air. We're trying to evacuate them.
Trying to evacuate them, and then kind of hopefully save as many of them as you can. But there are 4 spots spread across the planet of Zeltros, and depending on how you roll, you may not be able to save them all. You probably would save them all be a tall order. I should say either way, but saving as many of them as you can is kind of your mission.
Got it. I feel like Horus would definitely want to get the military out first. Trying to get them out in order to have some guidance from them, because this is their planet, their airspace, and try to use their knowledge and wisdom to help. So I feel like he basically tried to brute force a path through the Republic and then back out. Just sheer kind of sheer kind of brute force.
Okay. So he's just kind of like bringing those Jedi Starfighters kind of like right down their public lines, just breaking through them, trying to head to the planet.
Absolutely.
Okay. Give me your choice of, let's say, piloting or insight. As you kind of maneuver through and kind of find the weakest spots through the lines, or kind of using some expert piloting to break your way through.
Definitely going to go for insight here.
All right. Nice. So you some mixture of the Force, especially with these being like Republic citizens, you could feel them in the Force. So it's probably a nice change of pace for Horus. Really being able to truly rely on the Force to kind of help find you the best path through these ships and kind of making your way towards the planet. You are able to kind of make your way down, heading towards the military installation. You do see the Republic ships kind of looming in the distance, the Heaping Dragon starting to spark and burn and combust as the Republic turbo lasers tear into them, and they are getting into kind of orbit around the planet. And this is, and for Horus, it's probably a little shocking. You fought alongside Republic soldiers for a while, but they're getting into. You see, like the position they're getting into with that insight roll. We'll make you roll again, but they're getting into a very Dominion-like positioning around the planet. You see their Star Destroyers taking key positions around, and you start to see lights flashing and starting to hit the ground as they're kind of getting in position for base Delta Zero.
Oh my goodness. In that case, Horus is now going to rely on speed. Speed, just trying to get to the next location as fast as possible, getting people into those ships, just kind of staying on ground level rather than going fully into the skies, but relying purely on like quickest route possible, shortcuts wherever you can.
Perfect.
And he'd be going after the spies next.
Give me so you haven't made it to the military, folks. You kind of made your way to the ground. Give me a D100 plus 15.
Got it. $63.
All right. Yeah, you go through. You begin to load up people. You were able to get the spy or the military on board, and with 60, is that plus 15 already? That's plus 15 already. You were able to load up the military, get like all their advisors, their resources, their equipment on board. Man, you see those turbo laser strikes start to hit quickly. You even start to see it almost looks difficult for you to get your own starfighters and your troops off with like how kind of heavy the air is with turbo laser blast and damages. It's going to be a feat for you to make your way off the planet along with your troops. With this, give me the Jedi faction roll, which is 4d10.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And this is going to be against the Republic's faction roll, which is unfortunately 6d10. So how'd you do here?
What was the successes for this again? What do you need to roll?
6. So you got 3.
Heck yeah.
So let's see how the Republic does. Hey, you did better than them.
Hey!
So yeah, how does Horus kind of break away from the planet? And with this, unfortunately, you're only able to save the military, but you're able to get them through. And with this, because they've only got 2 successes and they got 1 crit fail, yeah, you're able to do it with no Jedi casualties and minimal kind of support group casualties. How does Horus get the group off planet?
Could I make an offer?
What's Horus thinking here?
I was just like looking up, like, oh, this is going in the report.
Some Jedi are about to die.
Yeah. We could have done this with very little casualties, meaning there's still time. Can he get more people out?
So, if you want to get more people out, we can do a re-roll of the faction dice. So it is a little bit of a disadvantage to Horus on the side, but if he does get ambitious, we'll say, and try to save more, you're able to get the military folks out. If everything is went right now, you'd be able to escape with most of the support ships, the military crew, and the Jedi at full strength. But we can do a reroll. The military will still be safe, but the Jedi, the 2 dozen squadron, or the 2 dozen Jedi squadron that's been assigned to you, could take some casualties.
I gotta do what Horus would do here, and he's saying it's like, we only saved 1 group. If we leave now, this would be an utter failure.
All right, give me a 40-10.
Not enough Jedi have died.
Oh,
So luckily they only got 1 or 2 successes.
and 2 here.
2v2, so this is a 1d10 roll off.
Oh,
They got a 1. We roll again on the both value on that.
wait, no, Horus got 2.
Yeah, you got 2.
Oh, do you need to get above 6?
You gotta get a success.
Oh no!
Oh.
I thought it was over.
There you go. Yeah. So
That-
Horus,
Horus was the 9. I thought I was the 4.
I know it's just the way it visualized, but it sure looked like you were going to roll a 10 and his die bumped yours. Just saying.
it did look that way. With the Horus, you're able to go back, spending more, or kind of with this, with the 9-2, yeah, you get through with no other Jedi casualties, but like it looks super reckless from a point because you see like pretty much nearly breaking away with the military forces of Zeltros, but then whipping back around to go. And which group do you save?
Because he can only do so much right now, he's going after the civilians.
Which one?
The civilians, sorry.
Yeah.
I keep turning away from my mic because my monitor's angled this way, my bad.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so you're able to go back and kind of get the wealthy civilians and make your way off the planet. You see kind of Republic ships just bombarding. You're able to maneuver the Jedi through, keeping them safe and protecting the both the military of Zeltros as well as the wealthy civilians, and adding them to the war effort, supporting the Jedi Knights.
Double or nothing.
Unfortunately, there's no more time out.
Triple or nothing.
If you want to go a third time, this would risk both the military and the civilians. If you lose,
Sir,
Wait,
you've got a
there's a-
21.
yeah,
Hit me again.
wait. I was saying that as a joke. You're telling me there's a chance
if
that Horus can
you
get
want to go up against the 60-10 versus your 40-10, this is like triple or nothing. This is triple.
It's-
What if
Telling
you
you,
win for all of them?
One night I was at the casino. And we were playing roulette. And I'm just telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. Just walk away with all the money.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm going to say. After, if he succeeds, right? Quad or nothing, he's going for all of them.
So, I don't know the odds of keep going up against 60-10. Are you going for it? I would take the chips and go home.
Horus
but-
gets this done, right? With minimal casualties. Let's be honest, it's not going to be minimal. Hopefully not maximum casualties. If he gets this done, he's done his job. He sees it as possible right now.
But at this point, if you lose, both the military and civilians will.
I love that Horus is essentially what's worth more, the two birds that I have in my hands or the one in the bush.
All
Hell
right,
with
Horus,
those birds.
are you going for it?
Yeah, no, Horus
Okay.
is like, this mission is still possible. We can still go for this.
If you throw both the birds in the bush, then you can get all three birds.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looked a little bad.
Not too bad. I'm rolling terrible, so it's only 2 successes at this moment.
Oh, that's also 2 successes.
Yeah, so this is another D10 roll off.
No. 5, 4.
All right, roll again.
This is nerve-wracking. Yeah. All right. Was that just for the third one, or do we gotta go again for the fourth? He's going for all.
If you're
of them.
doing the fourth, all right,
Yeah.
this would be near impossible. They're gonna have advantage.
Oh shit. So the third one I'll mention was the spies.
Spies, all right.
So I'm gonna roll just a d20 to see, like, if someone amongst the Jedi is capable of persuading Horus to get the fuck off the exploding planet, the planet that's being glassed. Is that all right? To be like 11 and above, just get out of Dodge. 10 or below, he's going for all.
It's your choice. If you'd like to roll a die for it, go for it.
Maybe
All
make it between 2 and 20, you know?
The dice have spoken.
I forgot which way was it, high running or low running?
High getting out of Dodge as Horus is just like he's gunning for like the researchers. How do we want to flavor this? It's like someone persuading Horus, or like all the Jedi like coming together to bring him off world. I'll leave it in your hands, Tegan.
The
How
Jedi
is it with that
starfighters,
natural
along
20?
with the military, civilians, they start making their way to hyperspace. Like Horus is going one way, and they're refusing to follow.
All right, and with that, Horus would follow his troops, not wanting to be left on a glassing world.
You gotta make the jump to hyperspace, saving more than thought possible, more than even thought wise. But luckily, the fortune was in your favor, and you're able to kind of bring those resources back into the Republic.
Horus, I could have saved more.
Don't start like grabbing your cufflinks. Sorry, that's an old reference.
I did not get it.
Never mind.
With that, close out Horus's session, or part of the downtime piece, with saving a good chunk of the Zeltros resources. Who wants to go next?
I can't follow that.
No. Like,
What? What do you mean that? What are the chances?
like I want to buy a
It
like,
goes
I want to buy a cape, and I've never said it's going to go poorly. Yes. Well, the cape you want is actually 30,000 credits.
Yeah, all right. Val will go next.
All right, you see kind of the holocam flare up in your room, the presence of Big Boss Granite kind of taking shape, puffing his usual cigar, his hut form pretty much dominating the room, even through holograph. You see him look at you and he goes, Val, hunter of all hunters, we got a new job. We got a couple jobs. We need your assistance and we need you to do a little bit better than Ryloth. I know you destroyed a dreadnought, and I like the name addition, but we can't have any more pirate victories, if you know what I'm saying.
Val is very sorry about that. That will not happen again, because Val is the hunter of hunters, destroyer of dreadnought.
You see, he kind of nods along, a slight like twitch his eye as the destroyer of dreadnoughts piece comes on, and he goes, "Yeah, man, that's why we like you. That special contract you negotiated. But we got two big things going on, and you know, I think you're kind of suited for them." He looks at you and goes, "Easy one. There's been tainted spice being peddled around hut space. And I know with the big war going on, tainted spice doesn't really seem like a big thing. Val, I know you keep your body clean and all that, but a lot of our forces utilize spice. A lot of our forces, we haven't negotiated a good contract like you, Hunter, and we pay them in spice. And this is... they're getting hooked. They're dying easily. It's like almost like a sickness. They use it, and then a couple of weeks, they're gone. That's some of the worst part about it. A couple of weeks, they get real sick right away. But and my thoughts and prayers go out with them. But they linger for a couple of weeks, utilizing our resources, just stretching us thin. Hunter of hunters, destroyer of dreadnoughts. We need you to figure out where this tainted spice is coming from, shut it down, and make sure our people are safe. On the other hand, and you kind of see like the holocam flips, you see the planet of Hypori kind of flip into view. And Val, you know Hypori is one of the biggest and one of the almost the only major kind of hut like shipyards. Like this is their biggest one, the one that can try to churn out large ships. He goes, and as you look at it too, you see the shipyards. Like there's no like, you see the hut ships in space. There's like no trace of like outside group. But like as it zooms in, you start to see riots in the shipyards. A lot of the workers kind of refusing to work on these ships, like kind of fighting against hut security. And you kind of hear Boss Granite go, "We think that the Vogue, or the Republic, or one of these griffers have agitated our workers. They said they want the same sweetheart deal the Republic got, and they refuse to build warships no more for us. We can't have that. We need our ships. Hunter, I need you to sniff out who are these instigators and convince the rioters to get back to work, get back to, providing a tool for honorable warriors like you to get out there and hurt the Vong, because you can't be a hunter of hunter, destroyer of dreadnoughts if we don't have ships and guns and swords and all that, right?"
Val does not need warships, but I understand some do.
You see that he raises like one of his chubby fingers, and he just kind of slightly lowers it. He goes, yeah, that's right, hunter of hunters. Yeah. So, whichever you think will fit best, but we need you out there, and we need you to bring the pain and let them know why you are the hunter of hunters and destroyer of dreadnoughts.
Gonna lie, the riots hit a little too close to our last scenario, so I'm gonna do the spice, I think.
Fair, fair. Perfect. You see kind of the hologram shift into like this representation of hut space, and you start to see all of these little dots popping up, showing kind of people with infected cases. A lot of it is on kind of the southern edge of the border. So you see people popping up in Rathana, Narkaga, even Excarga as well, just kind of showing kind of troops and people falling prey to kind of this new strain of spice that seems to be poisoning the people. And you kind of see Granite goes, "You got full authority to act how you see fit. Whoever's distributing this, whoever's tainting it, or whoever's messing with our supply, end them. Find them. I mean, if you want to spare them, cut off their hands like you like to do whatever you need to, Hunter. But make sure they can't do this no more."
Val shall see it done.
How would Val kind of approach hunting down? Because he's a hunter, so I feel like hunting down spice or hunting down a trail, even if it be a spice trail, could be right up his alley. But how does Val approach this on the galactic scale?
Yeah. So he's definitely not going to be able to look at a map and put clues together. That is not going to be his strong suit. So it's definitely going to be hands-on. So it's going to be at the sites and probably stalking out the sites, trying to wait for something to happen, something to be suspicious or someone to show up that shouldn't be there, and kind of get a trail going that way.
Perfect. Give me your choice of survival or stealth.
We'll do stealth. Just a straight ability check.
Straight ability check.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, you go through, you stalk one of the sites to kind of like maneuvering through the shadows, kind of watching the interaction between the hut's troops and workers as they kind of go about their days. And you start to find a few that do lead you to these dealers. And you find like this one, he's like a Rhodian, kind of a duo, a Rhodian mixed with a kind of a Rhodian with it's like taking orders, and you see like down the street this Twi'lek is like passing out the actual spice, but you're able to lay eyes on both of those people as these workers kind of come up to them, get their order from the Rhodian, walk down the street, and actually get the supply from the Twi'lek. What does Val, after he sees this kind of interaction a number of times, how does Val handle that?
Good question. Does he confront him or does he wait? Yeah, so I think he would definitely try to be patient and try to see it through a few times so he kind of really understands what's going on. And then he would just confront them. And actually, spice dealer given bad spice. Yeah, he'd start cutting off some hands.
Yeah, so you confront them. You kind of see like towards the later in the day, the Rhodian and the Twi'lek gonna meet up. With the Twi'lek taking like his cut of the credits. You're able to get the jump on them. How does Val act as he gets that jump on him?
So he'll kind of he'll be kind of waiting for him. He'll kind of pop down, slip out of the shadows, just kind of show him in front of him, and he'll just like announce himself. Val, hunter of hunters, have found you, destroyer of dreadnoughts, cleanser of spice. And then you'll see he like tries that out a little bit, but he's not sure. Like he's not sold. He says, "We'll see." He says, "Now Val should extract vengeance upon these dealers."
So you see the Rhodian just straight throws his hands up. The Twi'lek, kind of surprising to Val. He like jumps in. You see him like reach out and like grab like this wicked looking knife and like try to stab Val. But Val, that's what you're able to intercept him. How does Val intercept this guy? Like the Rhodian just kind of straight surrendered, hands up, like sweating. This Twi'lek like warrior pose goes in, reaches and grabs that knife and tries to stab him.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of like easily like disarm the Twi'lek and then just knock him out. and leave him there unconscious, and then I'll go over to the other one and actually take his hands.
Val, give me a perception roll.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, as you knock him out, you hit him with a blow, like right to the side of his temple, and you see him crumple to the ground. But for a moment, you start to see his like skin moving, like kind of weirdly, and you start to see it peel off of his face. It starts to roll off, and you see the kind of the scar visage of a Yuzon Vong infiltrator.
Oh, interesting. And so Val kind of stepped back, confused, and then would Val piece it together that the Rhodian is probably not also.
No, he is hands still up, yelling, "What the criff? What poodoo is this? What? He is completely shocked. You don't know insight roll necessary. He did not know the Twi'lek was not, or the Yuzon Vong was not just a regular Twi'lek as he posed.
You are saved this day. Val will take you both into custody. It seems that the Yuzon Vong has been using you.
He goes, I was just trying to make some credits. You know, it's a hard guy. I was just trying to he offered he had good spice, and spice we'd have to pay a tax up to the huts. We could just make some money off it. I was just trying to get some credits.
Val knows a special rate with my boss. Maybe you can work for him.
I
says with a straight face.
What's that special rate? I mean, I'm not gonna look a gift horse or a gift bath in the mouth, but yeah, if I can make some credits, I mean, I'm a good spice dealer.
Like Val kind of like looks around. 100 credits.
100,000 credits.
100 credits. Special rate for just Val.
You see his face just straight falls, but he still has his hands up and he goes, he kind of looks back at the Yuzon Vong, looks back at you, at like the great sword or the weapons on your back, and he goes,
I look back like, is that still an option? No.
Well, I guess I don't got a choice. So that's a very good rate. If you'll have me and don't throw me in jail or kill me, I'll sign on.
Yeah, so Val will take them both into custody then.
Take him into custody. You are able to kind of find out a few things. Kind of as you search the Twi'lek, you do find like 2 pounds of this like tainted spice. But one of the things you find as well is you find like the key card to a ship. It was an effort you were able to find kind of where that ship is docked, and it's technological. It's a regular like ship, but within it you do find this ship's last coordinates, Ryloth. It's been making its way from Ryloth, which, as Val would remember, the Yuzon Vong have recently taken from the huts. Ryloth produces a lot of spice, so they've been offloading their hut's own spice, tainting it, and kind of utilizing that to sow some discord within the hut cartels. Val's mission's on this side. You found where it's at. Would Val try to risk taking down the spice manufacturer on Ryloth? He wouldn't be able to take the planet back, but would he and the hut forces decide to go there and shut down the factories?
I mean, I have to, right? Horus has already charted the course. Yeah, so Val would like legitimately feel bad about failing in Ryloth and see this as his redemption arc.
Perfect. And you do see, as you got to give the information to Granick, they do put up a new holo map. You see that there's kind of like surviving on Ryloth. Most of the factories were destroyed, but there's one factory still left. And you see kind of like some of the surveillance they have chugging in, like utilizing the remaining citizens that are on the planet and force them to kind of go through and manufacture the spice. One thing that Val would know, spending so much time with the huts, One good way to ruin spice is sunlight. Uh, but how is Val kind of going through and shutting down this factory? You do have some of the Hutt cartel forces arrayed with you. How would he approach kind of getting on planet and taking down that factory?
Yeah. So I think I would try to. Getting on planet's the tricky part. I think it would be stealth once I'm on planet. Getting on planet would be. I probably hope the Hutts can help using the ship that we were able to capture. And yeah, probably using the captured ship and seeing if the Hutts can kind of fill in the gaps of any checks that we need to get into Ryloth, or maybe they know a path into Ryloth that might be easier to evade. A little bit of knowing the lay of the land there.
Definitely, Val, as you're kind of working with the Hutts to kind of gain, kind of find the path for this ship to make its way on planet. Give me your choice of perception or insight, kind of figuring out what's the best way to kind of maneuver your way in.
Yeah, we'll do. I think perception makes more. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Yeah. Route you pick is kind of a little bit of a rough go. You're able to get your ship down, but you do see you've attracted both the notice of some of the Yuzon Long fighters, as well as even just the Rylothians left, or the Twi'leks, I should say, left on planet. They are all kind of like taking notice of you. Hostilities haven't breaking out yet, but give me a D100 roll to see how Val's mission to kind of get in and take out the factory. And as you're rolling, or before you roll that, how is Val kind of looking to just make this factory inoperable?
Yeah, so someone probably let Val land, and he just like smacks into the ground. And his strategy is go and take control of the factory, and then just declare victory, right? Like he's like, nah, we'll figure it out when we get there. Maybe we'll light something on fire. We don't know. But it's just take the factory, and then our job is done.
Gotta keep it loose. All right, give me a D100 roll. And you rolled a 9. I don't know if you get a plus. Unfortunately, you don't get a plus, so straight D100 roll.
All right.
That is rough. Yeah. So Val, usually freestyling, it works out pretty well for you, but this time, like, it is just rough going. Like, you were trying to go through and liberate this factory, but the Yuzon Vog are fighting just like thud bugs, razor bugs, amphistaffs flying through the air. You see, like, you're fighting through, you're cleaving down warriors, but every time you look back, you see less and less of the Hutt troops behind you, until eventually it's pretty much just you on that side. So with this, yeah, unfortunately, you're not really able to kind of shut down the factory. But we are going to do a contested roll with this. Unfortunately, you are going to get half of your faction strength on this, so it is going to be 2d10 versus the Vol.
All right.
2d10 versus the Vongs. How many did they have? 9?
Ooh.
They've got 8, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. Oh, no, they do have 9. Yeah.
So long as they don't.
As long as they don't roll any.
It's possible. I've seen some pretty terrible damage rolls before.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. So unfortunately, Val, they run you off the planet. Like, you were able to do some damage to the facility, but overall it is still trucking, still pumping out spice, still kind of. The Hutts are aware now that there's tainted spice out there and trying to tell their people to not take it, but the Huts have also had their people take spice to make them easier to work with, and it's a hard balance for them to strike because the people are addicted. So you still see the problem running rampant throughout. But Val, you are able to kind of make your way off planet, getting pushed off of Ryloth as you go. But with that, we'll get into our. Actually, let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll get into Vars and Val. Or it's not Vars and Val, Vars and Malachi, as we get into their downtime. And depending on time permitting, we'll get into that last week. If not, we'll get the last week at the start of the next episode. So everybody come back 9:28.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of session 19 for occupation. We're doing a downtime session as the group is kind of getting back into kind of catching up with the galaxy after their latest missions. We've already done Val and Horus as they attempted to stop the stem of the trade of illicit spice that had been tainted by the Yuzon Vong to weaken the Huts. But unfortunately, fate wasn't with him. Where Horus, on the other hand, attempted to rescue the kind of the resources on Zeltros from the upcoming Republic invasion in Base Delta Zero. Where, fortunately, on the other hand, it was very well on his side and was able to get many of them off planet. But yeah, we got Vars and Malachi for their factions up left next. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go since he's not here
All
at the
right.
moment.
I'll be right back.
Sweet. So you see kind of a hologram with Lord Galvin appear. You do see his eyes kind of keen and evaluating as he appears, definitely with the soft golden hue of the Sith as he pops up on the hologram. And he goes,
I will be kneeling this time as the hologram comes on and my head is bowed.
you see kind of like, almost not taken aback, but definitely kind of gives a slow nod as he sees that. And he goes, "Rise, Lord Malachi. There's work to be done. We've uncovered a few threats to the Dominion. We feel your skills may be useful here. The first, the masters on Korriban have sensed a disturbance. They haven't been able to pin down what this disturbance is, but they're worried that it could be dire. They've seen visions of death, destruction, and just chaos unleashed. We would like you to investigate the planet and see what you can find and stop these visions from coming into fruition and keep that future from coming in. We've also got to see the hologram shift a little bit. Intelligence has found reports that Master Shaper Nimyen has set her sights on Mutalist. Mutalist is our de facto capital for Dominion. It is where a lot of our starships are built, a number of our trades are executed. And it would look ill if they were able to harm us there, hit us where we live. So we'd like you to find where the Shaper plot is, root it out, and eliminate it. But the choice is yours. See which you feel your skills would be most useful at.
Visions can be misinterpreted, and with what you've told me, there's not a lot to go off of. I think that my insight could be used better towards protecting our assets, and I'll go in that direction.
You see now as it goes, and kind of the screen flips to Munalist, home of the moons, as well as kind of the home planet or the capital planet for the Dominion war effort. And he goes, that is a valid choice. I can see the areas light up on the planet. Intelligence has caught tracks of Yuzon Vong sympathizers at these locations. We were able to eliminate the sympathizers, but unfortunately we're not able to gather information from them. You're able to make your way to planet. We would appreciate anything that you could find, utilizing either these past tracks the sympathizers have left, or even finding fresh tracks of your own. But we cannot allow any harm to come to Mutalist or the Dominion's reputation to protect our own. I'll provide you with a ship, but please make your way there post-haste.
It will be done, of course. And regarding our last conversation, Lord Galvin, Since Mustafar, I believe I have lost something, but what I have lost has been replaced with something greater. I do not know how to describe it, but when we reach our lowest point, I think that we are open for the greatest change. And the loss of my leg and near death has broadened my horizons. But I do wish to apologize in full humility, and I'll bow my head forward.
You see, he smiles. You kind of see his head tails kind of flick in satisfaction, and he goes, "Think nothing of it. The lowest point is where you find true strength. If you turn that strength into your own power, you could free yourself from even your own restraints." He points to the leg. "Let that wound fester. Remember what the Vong and their creatures have done to you. Turn that into your power, and then unleash it upon them, and make them rue the day they did so."
He'll bow his head again and wait for the transmission to end, and then make his way to the ship. I do have a question. We have a variant rule that allows us to use our proficiency when it goes up, and I think we just bumped up to 4. With that 1 point, I was reading it. It doesn't specifically say 4 light armor. It does mention learning medium armor or heavy armor would be 2 proficiency points, but I was wondering if I might be able to use the 1 to do light armor.
Do you just have the? Because I think armor proficiency and weapon proficiency both are listed at 2. Unfortunately,
Wait, we can use two of those to get a
Yeah, it says spend 1 proficiency point to gain proficiency in a singular weapon, or 2 for an entire category. So, and then it says 2 for heavy armor, but you have to have proficiency in medium armor first, and so on. So you have to, of course, have proficiency in the previous armor. But if I can't use 1 point to get the light armor, I would like to put it towards learning a language.
oh yeah, definitely.
It's 1 point. So I I shall now become proficient in the Vong.
Makes sense.
So now I can wreck them in style. Okay.
I think Vars is now the only one that can speak their language, right? Vars couldn't?
Any of the bad words.
Oh,
Thus,
wow.
like coward and, you know,
Or was it Val that was able to speak the language then?
not from
I think
before.
it was a previous character. It was
Talus.
what was
Right,
the Gungan? It was the
Talus.
Gungan.
Talus and the Garden.
Caesar knew how to speak.
And
I
Caesar.
remember that, or like I was able to decipher it because he it was even in his backstory. He was good at stuff like that.
Yeah. Rip Caesar.
Caesar.
But, I mean, bars have only picked up, you know, coward and whatever they find offensive.
Definitely makes sense a bad would pick up coward and a few curse words.
Yeah.
Can Horus get? Can he get proficiency in light armor if he spent 2 proficiency points?
You got 2, yeah.
In addition, could he use his advanced mod for armor because of reasons? The Biomatrix Mark II. Even more HP.
Sure. Let me see. Because you don't. Do you have a? Because you've got. Unfortunately, I wouldn't. Because you'd have to upgrade whatever your premium one is in prototype. Yeah.
Dang. In that
No
case,
worries.
save it on the armor. We're all good there. No additional HP here, but He's got a good pull.
On the way to target planet to FS up, I would like to study the historical and recent sites for the sympathizers and see if there's any sort of pattern to where their rumored locations are. If maybe there's a center point, maybe, or there's around like where they're meeting. If there's any sort of yeah, exactly, center point, maybe multiple locations. I'm thinking probably one or two main locations that they might hide out. But I'm gonna go hunting.
All right. Give me a lore or survival roll.
Let's see. Ooh, ooh. Okay, survival. Let's see. Do good.
As you kind of make your way towards the planet, kind of studying the kind of the charts and resources and kind of the most recent sightings for these sympathizers and suspected Vong assets, it almost does seem to be at random. You're finding pieces of information here as you go through. It definitely does seem like they're concentrating towards either mostly center points within cities, as well as kind of some of the bodies of water. But it's just kind of like the data's flowing at you so fast, it's really hard to find kind of the best points to target them. But it does give you some clues when you get through there. It does seem like many of the points are either going to be by one of the bigger city centers or by kind of waterways or large bodies of water on the planet.
Now, are these sympathizers blatantly putting on blatant displays, or are they just like doing blitzkrieg type things where they just pop up and they go sympathize and then they disappear into the shadows? Or are they like standing there like we should be helping the Vong, we should be welcoming them to the galaxy, and just kind of standing out in the open?
The sympathizers, they've not been like recruiting or anything like that. They've been kind of like skulking around. They've been caught by some of the security forces, and that's kind of how Galvin and the Sith were tipped off that there's kind of a poisoning attack on the way. Almost like they're more scoping, not really trying to make themselves known, but just fouled up and got caught by some of the security.
Well, you guys are worthless, as I say to the other intelligence professionals around me. Keep looking for a pattern. I think that we'll know more when we get planet side. Alert me when we're in the atmosphere.
Definitely. So you're able to make your way to the planet Moonlist. You see a very, very robust defense system of kind of on orbit. Many of the Dominion dreadnoughts, as well as space station, orbital defense platforms guarding kind of their wealth center, their capital planet. But you are able to make your way into the pristine air of Moonlist. It kind of brought into kind of a on a ship above the areas where you can either make your way to one of the city centers or one of the suspected points where they'd been by the large bodies of water, kind of depending which way Malachi would attack this.
I think I would go towards the most recent, the recent one. And since I'm on planet, is there any additional developments to sightings and locations?
There are more sightings, but kind of all following that same pattern. Either city centers, they've not found any poison or resources on these sympathizers, but they do kind of see them skulking, taking notes, and kind of preparing.
Okay, well, when they see them, they have new orders. You see them, you bring them to me.
Perfect. As you make your way on a planet, they are able to catch one in the city center and bring kind of this young kind of moon to you as well. You see kind of his long neck and pale skin as he's bound in cuffs brought before you, defiance in his eyes.
I walk right up to him and I take off my mask and I go, Have you ever met a Vong?
Doesn't matter.
It should. Look upon my face, sympathizer. Should I give you the same scars that I have? Don't answer that question. We're going to. Bring him with me.
You hear kind of like fear in his voice, but he kind of stutters out. Wouldn't be the first time a Sith has hurt us, as he's led away.
And it won't be the last time. I'll see you soon. Next one.
Next what?
Oh, I thought I had multiple synthesizers to cut up and dice. Just one?
Just one.
I'll go play now.
All right, Malachi, give me an intimidation check as you try to gather information from him through your torture.
All
I
right.
kind of like the idea that little out-of-character interaction was absolutely in character.
No, all of that was in character.
No, just,
All right, +8. Time to roll a natural 1. I called it. Let's do it. Close.
Two. So yeah, you see this man is defiant as you cut into him, but he speaks. You can gather information through him. What he thinks he's taunting you, but he does give away like key pieces that Malachi is able to put together as you kind of add scar upon scar and brutal wound upon wound to him. You kind of hear him just like struggle out. They will help us free us. We will finally have Monolist back. It'll be the great reckoning. Today will be the day they unleash the plague. It will take out all who don't share our DNA. It'll be glorious, and Moonlist will be for the moons again and get rid of that fool Dominus.
I'll turn to one of the Dominion. On my orders, evacuate as many people from the city center as possible. Keep it contained. And you will tell me exactly where. And I want to cast Affect Mind on him if I can.
Sure.
It's going to be a Wisdom saving throw by him. DC 18.
Perfect.
Nice. So I just have advantage on all charisma checks against him now. But I'm going to cut a hand off, and then I'm going to.
I will say with this, you do have advantage. You failed that intimidation check, so if you do want to get information from him, you're gonna have to take a different tact.
Okay. I want to keep on the intimidation route to see what else I can get. We'll just keep on with it, and instead of removing a hand, it's going to be a finger, and it's going to be another finger until I get an answer. But the answers that I'm getting, I want to instead of intimidating, I'm trying not to choose my role here and tell you, but I want to like read into his answers, I guess, insight into them. Is there any truth to what he's telling me, or is he just trying to stop the pain, or is he still being defiant, kind of?
Have you tried saying pretty please?
You can definitely insight kind of the answers he's given you already. With intimidation, he's kind of like he squeaked out what he'll say from intimidation on that path.
Yeah, that's a failure on me for not reading my abilities before. I mean, why do I have this and I didn't even use it? Okay.
I mean, not to tell you what to do, but there are other charisma-based skill checks.
No, there's not.
Oh, okay.
How about this? You tell me where it's taking place and I can stop it, and it lets you continue to be the Vong sympathizer. In fact, I will give you a shuttle so that you can go to the nearest Vong controlled system and see their culture for yourself. You already look like me, you'll fit right in.
He nods and goes, "Will you free our people as well?"
I wasn't aware that you were any sort of captive. You seem pretty free to me. Not at the moment, of course, but you could be.
We want Milos back for the moons.
It can be done. This is a very serious situation. People's lives are at stake here. You've threatened a lot of people. Tell me what I need to know, and the fingers will stop being removed.
All right, give me a
These are
deception.
lies, Tegan. These are all lies.
That man likes his fingers. Keep them coming.
All right, roll deception.
All right, here's the natural one this time.
You've got advantage.
Thank you for reminding me. Oh.
Yeah.
All right,
You
here we
did
go.
the thing.
Oh shit.
There's that natural one.
Yeah.
He is struggling. Like you see him losing fingers, and he just shouts out, "Moon will be free. City Center today. Long live the revolution!" As like he shouts it out, not really kind of buying the drivel that Malachi is feeding to him, but does kind of reveal a little piece as he tries to hold on to his ideals.
His head is removed as soon as he's finished saying that. There, you're free. I look to however many guards are standing outside or the rest of the Dominion troops that are around. We've seen most of these sympathizers' faces. I want guards posted in a mass perimeter around the city center. If any one of these individuals is recognized coming in the direction of the city center, I want them shot on sight. No ifs, ands, no questions. If any of them make it through the perimeter, your lives are at stake. That is all.
All right, give me a D100 roll plus 5. Not with the D100 rolls tonight. Unfortunately, yeah, you get the order out. They begin to kind of surround the city center, kind of blasters firing off towards suspected sympathizers. It gets rowdy as like some of the kind of the rebel agents, the agents the Vonks have planted and sighted on the planet, along with people just have been unhappy with the Sith rule, kind of mingle together, and unfortunately not able to stop the disbursement. You do see one of these moons, Malachi, you're on planet trying to help out. You see one of them stagger into city center, and you see he looks very unhealthy. Their usual pale skin, almost a sickly green. And Malachi, give me a faction roll. Unfortunately, with you kind of mirroring Val on this side, it is at half strength, 2d10 versus the ball. Nice. Is that 2? Is that 9 or 6? Oh, never mind. That was. That is 9. Sweet. So 10 and 9.
I think I got 3 successes.
Yeah. Fortunately, Malachi, you do like an excellent. You try to grab this moon through the force, trying to keep him away, doing kind of your level best to stop him from letting loose this plague. But unfortunately, you see his skin begin to start slacking off, and you see his face starting to slide, and you see it just start to combust from within, and this putrid green, like sickly aura just starts to eke out from him and spread amongst the citizens. You're able to get away from it, but you do see it's kind of starts to spread, and those who inhale it their skin begins to get a sickly green as well, and it kind of just begins to spread throughout the planet. At least the city, I should say. But you are able to get yourself to safety, as well as get rid of many of the with that 3 successes as well. Many of like the high profile people on Moonlist, the capital, away from that blast, to kind of make sure they are protected, even if you had to sacrifice some of the lower denizens of the planet.
Yes, sacrifices were definitely made because as I saw the virus being spreaded towards, I'm not sure what the radius is, or the contact radius is, but I would definitely be like throwing people like that are trying to run away. I'd be pushing them back towards like that center spot and throwing them back and trying to keep as many of them from spreading as possible. But yeah, I'll get off the planet. And my first call is to Lord Galvin.
Galvin will answer, and you see before his eyes were kind of like a light, just kind of a light sithy gold. This time they are burning gold. And he goes, "These conversations are becoming all too familiar, Malachi."
I couldn't agree more, my lord. Unfortunately, this couldn't be contained. However, I don't think it's a total loss. The plague can be purified, and we can get back at operations, though it will take time. If I can offer my assistance in this, I will.
I appreciate the offer. It would be an embarrassment to have an attack upon our own capital, but the only path is forward. Galvin Hoot. Do you see the hologram fade away?
Damn. Massive success by Horse and 2 consecutive failures. Let's go, Vars. Round it out.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Vars
gets
gets success all this one, because he's had really bad luck with the downtime rolls for occupation.
Out of curiosity,
yeah.
can one of us use the Tefana Station resources?
Yeah.
So that might be Val, since you're the Var, since you're the only one left.
Yeah, I think so.
Sweet. So Vars, as you kind of get back to the station, you do see kind of your hollow net recorder pop up. You see that familiar face, or actually you don't see his face. You see the familiar armor popping up of Commander Preskaveliku, and he goes, "We got another job for you, Vars. We actually got 2. We need some assistance on. First, personally, I think this is the route to go, but hey, I'll let you call. Yuzor Vong are staging an invasion of Navarro. They were using the foothold they got from Terrace and the destruction of Bandamir, and they're pushing even further in. Getting dangerous. They're getting close to Mandalore. Need you to help us lead an attack group against them. Hopefully stop them before they get to Navarro. Give them some losses so they won't think they can press forward. We know Terrace didn't go so hot for you, but after what you did to the world ships with you and your crew, we think you may be itching to lay a little bit more hurt on them. Let them know what the true Mandalorians can do."
All right. That sounds promising, but you said there were 2 jobs.
You can see this one, like he shuffles a little bit, definitely kind of a little uncomfortable, and he goes, "Intelligence, we've still got some fighters working on the ground on Terrace. We've heard that their high priest real nasty affair. They're going to be sacrificing some of our citizens and warriors still left on planet. Big mass sacrifice to their made-up voodoo gods. And if we can, we'd want to either free the people or at least give them a good Mando death so that they can't be used to their own propaganda by the Yuzon Vong and their fake gods. But hey, choice is yours on this one. Mandalore the Exalted was impressed with your work on the station, with taking out those world ships, so he'd appreciate any resources to find a station you can spare to this.
Well, I'll try my best to bring the full brunt of the Fonda against the attackers at Navarro. We'll go from there.
Seem not, yeah. Give him hell. You can't let him get that close to Mandalore. You see him kind of nod his head and go, I'll be waiting with you at the fleet. Definitely happy to spare some of the station's resources too. Velqua. And with this, you get like a whole kind of view of what the Yuzon Vong kind of like battle formation as you see a number of their coral skippers, larger dreadnoughts, and military craft kind of approaching Navarro, kind of getting into position. Definitely still kind of out of range of the planet. You see that Velku's initial strategy is to kind of surprise them early and keeping the kind of the core fighting away from the planet. But Vars, they're giving you command of the expedition. How would Vars kind of approach attacking this Yuzon Vong fleet, either at or before it gets to Navarro?
Before.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely before. Probably try to hide, again, amongst any other planetary bodies that might be between them and Navarro. Something in system, maybe. And let them get comfortable, let them think they're going to make their way right in, and then spring the attack.
Nice. Give me a stealth or give me a stealth or survival check as you kind of look for the best spots to kind of array your forces and kind of prepare to spring out for them. Yeah, so you kind of get some...
Hey guys, seeing as we haven't used a lot of inspo this
Oh god, I completely forgot about inspiration.
yeah.
I'll be honest, I did too. Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
Back in time. So,
Yeah, let's-
inspiration.
Can I use it for this Tegan or?
Oh, yeah, you definitely can. You guys have 3 in the pot.
All
Oh
right.
my goodness.
Come on.
Oh, that sucks.
You gotta be flipping kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was not meant to be. Unless.
Didn't this happen before? Isn't this exactly what happened last
Yeah.
time?
We need to give up on Terrace.
I already wrote off Terrace. That's why I'm defending Navarro, but apparently that ain't happening
Oh.
either.
Navarre? I think you mean Terrace too.
Yeah, you got Terrace. Terrace the Reckoning.
And for anybody that's looking, Navarro is an 06. So yeah, it's kind of right in line with Terrace.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, with this, the Yuzon Vong have kind of hipped to the Mandalorian tactics. They kind of go through and try to keep it like they're not expecting the asteroids of the planetary bodies to unleash fighters, warships, and even just Mandalorians jetpacking it to it. But as it comes out, you see them put up their Dovin basils, start unleashing molten rocks, and the fight is going hard. You start to see Mandalorian ships starting to shields flaring as they start trading blast throughout the throughout the void. But your ships are pressing in on them, kind of starting to continuing the fight, still pushing at the Vong with your surprise blow. And how would Vars kind of handle the engagement?
I mean, the Vong are tricky, so hit them hard. Don't let them breathe. Don't let them think. Who knows what they have tucked away? The sooner they're dead, the better. Full aggression.
Full aggression. Vars, give me your choice of like what would be a good one for this? Your choice of either athletics or would be good for full, just straight up beat down.
I'm going with athletics. You're
All right.
fine. I'm not. You don't have to think too hard. All right. There we
Nice.
go. That's a lot nicer.
So you guys see like the fleet trading blows, the Mandalorians, the surprise ruin. But Vars, how do you kind of just drive them forward? Like, how do you? Like, you see some great successes? You get like rather to this trickery, rather than the stealth, just straight Mandalorian aggression. How does that look for Vars and his fleet?
Well, the hell with trading blows. Take them down, and just learning what we know that essentially it's just a bunch of weird rocks that manipulate gravity. Just make their way in, hit them with explosions, hit them with every missile we got. Doesn't matter, they're just big rocks with a bunch of scarred idiots inside of them, right?
Right, so you kind of press them forward, just kind of keep it simple, but keep like hitting them with kind of everything that you can do, just bringing kind of true pain along that side, along with the Mandalorian forces that are provided to you and some of the Tafanda station. You see the CC Rue droids, starfighters kind of swarming in, kind of helping you blow them down. You see some of the Roidium mutts assisting with you there. So you're going to get to do a pretty big faction roll. It's like you're going to get to add these resources from Tafanda station, along with the Mandalorian resources put in your command on that portion. So give me. Oh, actually, no. Give me a D100 plus 20. Nice. Solid. You see, like the engagement is going well. The Mandalorians have the upper hand on the side. They as soon as they abandoned trickery and just went overwhelming force, you start to see some of the Yuzon Vong core ships blinking out, and just kind of successes starting to rack up for your troops. I think you're the first one to actually get a success in your D100 roll today. So with this, you've got the Tafada station resources, the Mandalorian resources, and with that being 80, I think you get to add. Yeah, so we get to re-roll 2d10 on this. So with that, you get 90-10 and get to re-roll 2d10 of your choice.
That's 9d10.
Yep, 5 from Tafada station, 4 from the Mandalorians. You get to re-roll 2 of those as well. I'll get rid of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, oof.
Oh, wow.
9, 10.
Well, that helps.
So they've got 11. How many do you have right now?
I'm about to talk about that other inspo. Because I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, they rolled 3 10s, unfortunately, which...
Yeah, I rolled 2 10s. Yeah, I don't know if you will allow it, but I would.
Oh, yeah, you can use this one for this.
God, yeah, because, jeez. Hold on. I'm refreshing the page. I don't trust this die.
Yeah, refresh that page.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, shit.
1, 2,
4, 5. But you also still have the 2d10 to reroll. Can you do it? No, you couldn't do it. That
I
is
don't want to do faction stuff anymore. I'm done. I should have just gone cape shopping. This is stupid.
Ah!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a pitched battle, but the Yuzan Vong, like, they just continue throwing troops. The Mandalorians, you guys are just slaying them, killing them as they come in. But ship after ship after ship just continues to kind of flow in. And eventually you guys are pushed back from Navarro. And they kind of force back into hyperspace and in the protective orbit around Mandalore. You see the Mandalore even reaches out and says, kind of with a quick message letting you know that you basically reviewed the tactics, so you did all you could. But unfortunately, the Vong were just willing to win the battle through lives lost.
That's But hey, Horus got out the spies.
I'm sorry I ate all the luck.
No, that's fine. I tried it even with 2 inspo, and this wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, I thought this one with the faction die added to it, you have it. Especially with the rerolls too, but
I originally intended to have it
These guys should stop calling on me.
Playing like I could have saved more, but now I don't think he's gonna be complaining.
Yeah. I could have saved more. Wham. Just shut up. Just stop talking.
yeah, probably a little bit of a somber mood as you guys make your way back to Tafanda Station. Sweet. What we will do, we will pick up next session. You guys still have another week of downtime to do for your more personal ends. Forrest, here's hoping you get that cape cheap.
Yeah, right. Something.
With that too, we'll get into lead into probably. Well, there'll be multiple choices, but I feel like there'll probably be one adventure you guys will lean towards. You'll have all 3 options presented to you guys next session. Depending on what you guys choose and how long everything else takes, we may even get into the start of that adventure a bit as well. So everybody come back. We're not going to be on next week. We'll be on the 4th, though. So everybody come back the 4th of June as we get into session 20.
Sounds good.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out, and until next time.